Alright, what's up, boys? I am going to just throw the other head on real quick. It's the same as what happened in the last video, just on the other head. Water pump and just all the accessories, get the timing belt on, all that fun stuff in this video. Alright, boys, heads are all done. We're going to do the water pump, the tube, and the housing, which are all right here. I cleaned them before I put them on the last time, but I'm gonna clean them again. Especially since I had that oil leak over here. There's oil on here. I'm not replacing this. Yell at me about it. Finally got a parts washer. I just didn't get any like mineral spirits or parts washer fluid stuff. This works great. I've talked about it before in my videos. This is awesome. It's like all natural. Supposedly you can eat it. I'm not telling you to eat it, but supposedly you can. Okay, just get all this old gasket off. That shouldn't have been on there probably anyways. This is all from the last engine builder that just used a ton of silicone on a paper gasket. I'm almost positive the OEM gasket's metal. Got everything clean. This thing's pretty well spotless. I mean, it's as good as I'm gonna get it. This is all spotless. This is spotless. Got all new O-rings for the tube that goes through. Now, yesterday I panicked and thought I put my heads on backwards. They're supposed to be universal, and I was just like, what the hell's going on? Because these shouldn't be open on this side. These should be open on the other side for that water housing, and these should be for the timing cover. They're just plates. You can move them from side to side. So I got to bust these loose and get them over here. Clean these up. I'll probably just use red silicone on them because I didn't get new gaskets in my kit. I don't know what goes on them. Okay, well, they painted the heads, so you want to get all this off because if you just put silicone on paint, the paint will flake off. So pretty well cleaned up. Just different colors because of the different aged heads or something. I don't know. It keeps looking like this is oversprayed. This one looks pretty shiny, but I can't get anything else off of it. I'm putting red silicone on here. I know you can get away with gray, but with all the other leaks that I had last time around, I'm using red. Just leave them hanging snug for like 15 minutes and the silicone start to set, then torque them down. Okay, sorry I didn't turn the camera back on. My buddy was here working on his truck. You probably seen in the background. He doesn't like to be on camera. These are probably 11. I did them at 17 and then I looked into it. These probably should have been 11. These are definitely 17 for the water pump. They go in the steel. Here's the problem I'm having. You know, I got this from the last engine builder. This is one of my extra bolts. They had 3 different size bolts. Same thing like they did with the oil pump. I think these 3 are right, and then this one. I think this is too short. I think I'm supposed to have another one of these. I think I'm supposed to have all 4 the same, and then right here, it's supposed to be a little bit shorter. I can't find anything on the forums or anything. Everyone on the forums is just saying that there's only 4 bolts. There's obviously 5, so I don't know what they're talking about. So hopefully I don't have a leak. Clean everything, get this metal gasket on, and put this water pump on finally. Okay, get your gasket. Make sure there's no oils or nothing on it. You kind of gotta like put it on there and get 2 of them lined up. So nice to use OEM gaskets. Everything just lines up. I just wanted to make sure I could get that on. For some reason, me and Adrian thought you had to put this on before you put the water pump on, but you don't have to. You got to put it on before you put the cam gears on, though. It holds the cover on, the cam gear cover. That's all this huge bracket's for, pretty much. Okay, 17. That side's pretty much done. Everything's torqued down. The way I put this on the engine stand, I'm not going to be able to put this water housing on right now for you guys. I only have 3 arms holding it up. The more I'm looking at it, I should have stuck it on upside down. These on the bottom, it would have lowered the whole block. But with that being right there, I can't put this on there. It stops it. We can definitely put the water tube on though. So let's do that. All right, here's your tube. It goes in to the back of your water pump right down there. But you gotta put new O-rings on it. And put a little bit of this on there. It's that, like, I can't remember the exact word that's called. It's like that sticky, it's pretty much just suspension grease. Dielectric grease or whatever. Once it gets hot, it gets sticky. It'll help slide it in, and it'll help seal it a little bit better once it gets hot. And that goes in there like that. And then it's just 2 of these, like, shorter bolts. Actually, I think you can't do one of these. You gotta take one of these back off because your coil pack thing bolts into this. Your, not your coil pack, your, this right here. This power unit. It's like your spark control module or whatever. It will go in that hole and that hole. It'll bolt on like that. This is a pain to try to do in the car. I did it before, if you guys remember, when I couldn't get this to run at first. And I think it's just gonna be a pain. Regardless, it's a pain either way you try to do this. Yeah, I guess you can do that. Yeah, put these on first, I guess. I think it's gonna be all the water stuff I can put on now until I get it off the engine stand. I guess we can start doing timing belt stuff. Okay, this tensioner pulley goes right here. Okay, this is what happens when you start rushing stuff. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna show you. For probably a good 45 minutes, I was trying to get this idler pulley somewhere, and I'm all like, it doesn't really fit there, it doesn't fit there, and this bolt doesn't want to thread in there. Well, there's this whole bracket that I forgot about that goes on there. So I'm gonna put this on real quick. It's those three. You got one back there on the side and then two up there. There's also supposed to be like a little hanger thing. I just put washers in there because I don't want that big like engine hanger hanging off the top of my engine because it's ugly. And it's hard to get to once it's in the car to get it off. Okay, boys. It's been about an hour, to be honest with you. I just had to clean everything like I do. I thought about repainting these brackets. I just had to talk myself out of it. I got this oil filter housing all cleaned up. This pitting I can't really get out of there, but it's pretty well spotless. Gotta get this on. Wipe all these surfaces down with some alcohol. You just want all this grease off. Nice, fresh, blue OEM gasket. The easiest way to do this is put the bolts in, put the gasket on this, like that. So those are 17. I got 4 new stock cam gears. Yes, I'm getting adjustable ones. I want to break this engine in on stock timing. We're going to get this sprocket on. My little keyway has been soaking in oil this whole time because I wanted to buy another one. I left one of these out before and it completely turned to nothing but rust, so I threw it in oil this time when I took everything apart. Clean this all up because you're never going to be able to get back in here. Boys, back out here. I honestly don't know where I left off. It's been a couple days. I'm pretty sure I already said this, but if not, I actually have to take these valve covers back off because you got to hold a wrench on the cam to torque these cam gears down. So let's get those off. And then this one, you see how all of these are pretty close? This one's in time. This one's like right there. This one's right there. I'll probably have to rotate the engine as I rotate this to make sure the valves don't hit, because when cylinder 1 is at top dead center, so is cylinder 4. So I'm gonna take this valve cover off, try to get this close to time. It's like 180 out. So let's get these valve covers off. I'll bring it right back. It's just these bolts. You guys see me put them on probably. See where the timing mark is on this exhaust cam? You see where those lobes are? They're gonna open up the valves on cylinder 4. Cylinder 4 is at top dead center. Those valves are gonna hit that cylinder. So if I would have just put a wrench on there and forced it, I might have bent a valve. I'm gonna have to turn the crank to that's down. I can see down in there. I'll throw a extension down there so you guys can see what I'm looking at. You can watch this extension. Well, right now it's gonna go down because I just went all the way over. But see, when I was starting, that was all the way up. Those valves would have hit that cylinder. Now when I turn this, this is gonna hit and this is gonna start to hit. So I gotta make sure this is all the way down and make sure this is pretty much down. Yeah, we're golden. So we're good. The mark should be in time. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. I probably should have put the cam gears on before I put the cams in and made sure all these dots were kind of where they needed to be. Now I just gotta tighten these down, torque them up. There's a spot to put a wrench right there, and then you'll put a torque wrench on there and torque these down. I believe there's 66. I'm gonna look it up and double check real quick, but I'm pretty sure it's 66. Okay, well it's 65. I don't know where I came up with 66. These are torqued, these are torqued. I showed you guys that I had to re-rotate all that, make sure it didn't hit the pistons. Gonna put silicone back in on these corners on these valve covers, put it back. That's all in the last video. I'm gonna get back to where I was in the last video. We're gonna put the timing belt on. Okay, we're finally at the point that most of you guys probably clicked on this video for. I went around with some paint marker and just made it real visible for the camera for you guys to see all the marks that need to be lined up. There's also marks on the back. So if you're in the car, it's easier to line these marks up. Top dead center on this, and then 1 tooth back. You see, you want to be 1 tooth off from that. So when this tensioner goes loose, it kind of like skips a tooth to get it all back lined up. These ones should just be ready to go. These ones you can smooth by hand. These ones are tight, but as long as you have it set, you pull this one back that way, this one that way, and line them up with these 2 points. We actually have a book this time. So you're going to start here, here, work your way down and around here, 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 there, and then on there. You're going to use like clips to hold these in place. Alright, and then you also have this tool that you got to get. It'll go in there. It goes into a 1/4 inch ratchet or breaker bar, and it's just got these 2 little knobs to fit in that tensioner pulley. You'll put that in there, make sure everything's loose, because this whole thing's got to move around. I don't know what they call it. Just, you can find them on eBay or anything like that. It's like a timing tensioner tool. It's easier to use like a little breaker bar instead of a ratchet, because a ratchet, you know, ratcheting back the other way. You also need clips that Adrian's wearing. You're gonna need these clips to hold your belt in place. Once you get on there, you'll put a clip on there. Once you get on there, put a clip on there. Once you get on there, put a clip on there. You also can use like a paper clip or something to hold this in place, but once you're done, you're going to want to test that, make sure that's all perfectly goes in and out. Inspect your belt. I don't care if you just bought it from Mitsubishi. You do not want to put a belt on here, it's going to break. This is an interference engine. It'll be a bad day if your belt snaps. You got to do these 2 at the same time pretty much. But do that front one first.
Well, this one's easier for me to see, so.
Put your clip on there. Put your clip on there. Then you can let go of it as long as your clips are holding each other. You see how the timing marks are all lined up perfectly? Then you're going to go under your water pump and around. These ones you can pretty much just do by hand. Now everything's perfectly lined up. Take this belt this way, under this, and then it's gonna go around this. You're gonna want those little teats up top so you got the most slack as possible. And you wanna work your slack all the way to this, so keep this tight. Once you get to like this point right here, you'll have this pin in there. It's gonna be tight right now. You're gonna pull down on your little tool to push the tensioner back in until that pin moves in and out easily. You see how that pin will move in and out easily? You gotta make sure you got that hole in line. Then you can tighten all these. Okay, I just stopped for a minute just to look up this torque. It's 42 foot-pounds for this. This is probably like 45 because this is 45. We can't find this anywhere in the book. Now you just gotta pry this. You pretty much need a buddy to help you with this. I was gonna try to show you guys how to do it by yourself. I did it once before, but it's so much easier.
Yep.
Right there. Then tighten down that bolt right there so this all stays. The problem with this is that once you tighten that down, you can make this too tight. So you kind of gotta hold it. But you can check that with that pin, like I was talking about earlier. All right, now turn it over at least twice and see if you're in time. Take your clips off. You gotta rotate this at least twice because it'll be an intake and a compression. So you do it once, you'll be at time. Don't panic. See, one rotation right there. Everything's out of whack. Then your second rotation. You're in time. And then, like I said, if you're in the car, it's easier to check these ones. You see the orange dots? They'll be on either side of that mark. And then that line will be right perfect with that triangle. And the same thing on the front, but you shouldn't ever have to use these, to be honest with you. Just double check it.
And then if your pin's a little tight, there's a measurement here. It's 3.8 to 4.5 clearance. We're at 4.2, so we're in spec.
Okay.
So the spacing between the arm and the tensioner. Just another double check.
Yep. Okay, I forgot to do the washer trick. One of you guys told me to look it up. I looked it up, and I still didn't do it because I'm stupid. You can put a little washer in there, and then if that ever fails, your belt won't come off. It stops it from getting looser. It'll only allow it to get tighter. These all guys come back off when I do adjustable camming gears. So I'll do that when I do the camming gears. All right, boys, I think that's gonna be the end of this one. Water pump, timing pulleys, timing gears, and timing belt, timing tensioner, everything's in time. You're pretty much gonna start slapping everything else back together, which we'll probably start doing turbos and stuff in the next video. See ya.